crafty friends. Welcome back to Crafting Chaos with Melanie. I hope everybody's doing good today. I am super excited about this video. I sat down and I really thought I was going to try to do this in one video, but I am going to break it up in two because I really want to spend time on the structure of the video. That way it kind of gives you a way to make the foundation of an album. And if you can do this, you can do any album, and it's really simple. I've really simplified it, and I know anybody can do it. So what are we doing today? We are making what I'm calling a Slimline folio, and I sat down and I started on this one. This was the first prototype, and I kind of just left it because I decided I didn't want to do this part. I actually, try to rework it, and I can actually take it off, and that's probably what I'm going to wind up doing. But I decided to put this one to the side and go with a fall one. Now, the basis of this and where this came from is I have a Dollar Tree little notebook that had stickies and stuff in it, and that really inspired me on this. And I don't have that notebook. This was from, I don't know, a little while ago, and I had wrote it in my notes, and I thought this is a perfect time because I really think now is the time to do gifts for Christmas or, whatever that holiday is. So I did a full prototype in fall paper, and this is just a paper pack that I had in my stash from Joann's. It's so cute, and this is very slim. That's why I'm calling it a Slimline folio, and it's designed to house 3x4 photos. So you just open it up, and we are going to be making waterfalls, and this is a picture that I printed, and see how that goes right there, how pretty that is. This is actually just on copy paper. Isn't that pretty? So the one that we're doing on camera is going to be a Christmas one, and on the second part of the video I am going to put all the photos in it. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like with the photos because that really helps. So on today's video, let me show you what you need. Isn't that pretty? Listen, one of the easiest ways to close a folio, I think, is ribbon. And you just do that, and there you go. And it just sets up perfectly on a shelf. This is so pretty. It's so easy to make. Once you get through this video and the next video, you can sit down and mass produce these pretty easy. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is show you this so you can take a screenshot if you would like. Today's measurements. Let me get to this really quick. Actually, wait a minute. Let me show you the paper we're using. I did a short on this. We are going to be using the Vintage Christmas by Cardstock. And I'll tell you, this particular book just does not take a lot. It's very simple. So if you have like a 12 by 12 paper pack and you have like 2 or 3 pieces of 12 by 12 just hanging out, this is the perfect project to use that up. Absolutely perfect. So we're going to be using that, and then we're going to be adding some cardstock and chipboard, and that is all we're doing. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is chipboard. Now I'm using chipboard. I'm using medium weight chipboard, and I'm going to bring this in and let you screenshot it, and I will have it below. So the first part of this video, you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard cut at 3.75 by 9. So 3 3/4 by 9. And then you're going to need 1 piece at 1 by 9. So if you have a 12 by 12 sheet of chipboard, that's all you need is 1 12 by 12 sheet, and you can get this. If you want to use thick cardstock, go ahead and try it. Try it with thick cardstock, or if you have cereal boxes or Amazon boxes, or something else you want to try, then give that a whirl. I'm sure it'll turn out fine. It just depends on what you want. I like using chipboard because of it's thicker. Right now, cereal boxes, I would recommend that you put 2 together, but this is medium weight chipboard. I get this off Amazon, okay, and I cut these pieces at 3 3/4 by 9 and a 1 by 9. So we have 2, and then that one. The inside mat is going to be 8.5 by 8 3/4. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute. All right, so first things first. The first thing you want to do is cover this chipboard up. You want to make the book. So what we're going to do, we're going to make this book, right? We're going to make this part of the book right here. And I'm going to show you cardstock that I love, and it does not crack. So whenever you're using chipboard, a lot of people have a lot of trouble with cracking. And there's two ways to eliminate that. One is using book binding tape. And let me get that really quick. I do have the book binding tape, and I do use it. I do use this. I like it. I get it off Amazon, and I do use this. You can also use tie-back, and tie-back is something that you can get on envelopes, or you can buy it in bulk. But something I have found is this cardstock. This cardstock is the cardstock that I get at Joann's. It's basil, B-A-Z-Z-I-L-L, and I'll tell you, it's the basil that has the texture. When you go and you get this, there's some of it that's just solid on both sides. There's no texture. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but this has texture. This cardstock is so good to make chipboard albums. It does amazing. Look at this. There is absolutely no cracking at all. Look at this. Even in the mitered corners here, guys, there is no cracking. Those are really, really good. So I know a lot of people have trouble with cracking, and I've had that question in my comments before, is the cracking. So this is something that really, really helps it. So if you have a Joann's in your area, I highly recommend getting some of this cardstock. You can also, I'm sure, go on joanns.com. I'll check out Amazon. I don't know if they have it or not. It's really, really good. And Joann's puts this on sale usually once a month, 12 sheets for $2. You can't beat it. So, all right. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to flip it over because I want the textured side to be on the outside of the album. Now, with this particular album, you only need one sheet of 12 by 12. That's all you need. And all we're going to do is line this up, right? We're going to line this up and tape this down to the paper. Now, I have done this for so long, I can eyeball it pretty good. There is a tip though, and the tip is to get your cards, your chipboard that you're using, and you can use it like this, like put two pieces together, right? And that is a good length to be. I always like to do about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to tape this off, and I wish I had already done this, but that's the one thing I didn't do. So I'm using scrapbook.com sticky tape. I have Suquane sticky tape. I have all kinds of sticky tape here. I love sticky tape when I'm making mini albums. And what I'm going to do is just tear this. And we are going to put this down. Now this kind of overlaps, but I'm all right with that because I just want to cover this up. Right, I just want to cover it up. We're going to flip this over. I'm having trouble. Look at that, guys. I'm trying to teach y'all and I screw up right off the bat. Okay, so we're going to tape this up. All right, okay, so let me move this. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this part taped. I'm going to cut this off right there. All right, we're going to get this part taped. I like using something really, really sticky on this because you want it to last, right? You want it to last the test of time. I also add a little bit of glue to give it, you know, time to move around, because sticky tape, guys, once it hits the surface, it's down. Unless you use undo. Undo will get this up if you make a mistake. But there's not a lot of wiggle room with this. But whenever I'm doing the covers, I like using this because there's no bubbles underneath. You get a full adhesion, right? All right, so let's just get that. All right. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's summer? I know summer is kind of winding down, you're in the last months of it if you're in the northern part of the country. I know it's super, super hot right now most everywhere, but I'm sure the nights are getting cooler. We are in an inferno. My son is actually in this week, and his girlfriend, and we went to the beach for about an hour. Couldn't make it any longer, and today we spent some time in the pool, about an hour, hour and a half, a little bit longer because, you know, we could stay in the pool. But it's hot. It's hot. And tomorrow's just as hot. So, all right. So we're going to come here. Okay. What I'm going to do, I hope I see this. I want about 3/4 of an inch on this side to fold over. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this first piece of chipboard down. Now, another little tidbit on the chipboard is whenever you're cutting it, whenever you're cutting your chipboard, there are two directions of this chipboard. Let me show you. You have, so this side is bendy, it's flexible, and this side is, well, if you do it that way it is, but it's not. It's very sturdy. Whenever you're cutting your album, I like to do the length of the album with this. So you're cutting it with the strong part of the chipboard, right? The width is going to be more bendable, but the length, if you see, notice this, look. I don't know what I'm, yeah, see? Now, if I had done it this way, it's very flexible. That's what I'm trying to say. So whenever you're cutting it, you want to flip your chipboard over to where it's definitely more stronger, I guess is the word I'm trying to use. Less bendy. Okay, so we're going to put this down, and I am going to bring it down about right there. Okay, and you want to burnish this really, really good. Burnishing this is very important. All right, I did find my bone folder, my Teflon bone folder. There was a video, I couldn't find it anywhere. I think I went through 2 videos, and I found it. It was in the floor behind my desk. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and guys, I'm going to eyeball it, but like I said, it's about 1/4 of an inch, I would say. And something else I like to do, I have a T-ruler, and if you put this T-ruler, I want to show you something. Look at this. You get this T-ruler there. You know that you're bumping it up. You look at that. You're bumping it up, and it's going to be even at the top, okay? So I'm going to come in here, I would say about right there. And let's make sure I get it pretty straight. All right, there you go. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so let's see what we got here. That's pretty even, Steven. Yep. Now we're going to take this last piece. And we're going to take the adhesive off. Ow. That hurt. All right. Now, like I said, I do like using sticky tape. To me, this is a place you want to use sticky tape because of the full adhesion, right? If you use glue, I have used the Fabri-Tac glue. You just want to make sure that you get it all over the chipboard. You don't want it little parts, bits and pieces there that doesn't have the glue, because what you're going to get is your cover to your album is not going to have full contact, and it's going to cause you some issues. Okay, so I'm bringing this T-ruler in, and I'm just making sure that it's straight, right? I'm going to bring it over, and this I'm going to bring the same way. I'm going to bring that up about 1/8 of an inch, probably right Okay, now we have this over here. Okay, we have a lot left over. So let me see what that is. That is about looks like about 2 1/4 hangover on that side, and the same over here. So you could cut this down if you wanted to. What I do is I just do this, and then I'll just get my trimmer out, whatever trimmer I have handy, and I just trim some of this off. All right, so I'm just going to trim this off. Just going to do it by... Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same. It's still a little bit long, a little bit. Let's see what we got. Okay. I think that's pretty good. All right. Clean up my mess here. All right, the next thing that I'm going to be using is a mitering tool. Now, there's several ways you can do this. What we need to do is get the bulk of this off the corners here. A lot of people just take the scissors and do it. You just take the scissors and you cut it, right? You do not want to cut flush with this chipboard. If you cut flush, then that piece of chipboard is going to be showing. You're going to see it, and you don't want that unless you're using book corners. You know, if you're using book corners, I don't guess it matters. I'm not using book corners. So just a rule of thumb, you definitely don't want to cut to where it's completely flush with this, okay? So just like the spine, you could get your chipboard and get 2 pieces of it, stick it up here, draw it with a pencil, and cut it. And that's a pretty good rule of thumb. I got this little miter tool from Etsy, and I'll find out, guys, I've had this one for a long time. I have no clue where I got this from, what seller. If I can go back that far and find her, I will. But they have a lot of these on Etsy, and I'll look on Amazon too. But this is, if you are an album maker, this is good. This is a good tool. This is something that you need, and they're not expensive. So what I do is I just put that in there. 2 ways. If you're on a cutting mat, and let me fix this. If you're on a cutting mat and you just want to use an X-Acto knife, you can just do that. I am on a cutting mat, but I have my paper here, so I don't want to screw that up. So I'm just going to draw it, right? I'm just going to draw that all the way around. You want to do all 4 corners, okay? We're going to do all 4 corners, all right? This tool is a must. I love this little thing. I use it all the time on my books. Okay, now, if you look right here. Let me get up here. See the line? See that? It's about 2 widths of this chipboard. So if you don't have it, don't stress about it. Get 2 pieces of the chipboard you use, put it together, and draw a line, and you'll be perfect. Now, I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut on that line as best as I can, guys. You know, I always talk about Tracy Phillips and her cutting skills with scissors, and I swear if she didn't do it, the other day I was watching a video and out come those scissors, and I'm just like, wow. Okay, so now we have that. All right, the next thing that I like to do is I like to kind of do a little score here, right in next to that chipboard. That helps this paper. It breaks the fibers up in the paper, and it really helps to fold this paper over. That is the next thing we're going to do, is fold this paper over, okay? All right. And guys, once you learn how to do this, you can apply this to any album, any and all albums. It's so cool. All right. Now, we're going to put tape around right through here, and I'm going to bring in my scrapbook.com. And this looks like 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, I think. This might be too big. Let's see here. Usually I put the tape on before I miter the edges. Yeah, that's a little big. Let's go down 1. This is scrapbook.com. Scrapbook.com, I can't talk. Scrapbook.com has really good adhesive. I really like it. Maymay carries Elizabeth Crafts, I think. It's good adhesive. Suquain is really good. That's what I've used for years. I will link what I can find down below. If you're an album maker and you like albums or you're learning how to do it, guys, this tape it's good. Now, another little tidbit, another little piece of advice, if you're new to this and you're not comfortable using the score tape yet, they call this score tape. If you're not comfortable using this, because once it sticks, guys, it sticks. Like, you just don't have a lot of wiggle room with this. Then use your liquid glue. It's fine. It will work. You just got to make sure you get it covered. Now, because I had already mitered the edges, I'm going to flip this over and I'm just going to cut this up. Alright, we're going to cut these off. All these little tidbits. Okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to pull this over and I'm just going to go through and I am just pulling up the edges, right? I'm just pulling these up to get them moving, kind of breaking the fibers of the paper, right? Just getting it up. Now, some people cut this. I have seen some people go in here and cut this area right here. Doop, 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 doop. I've never done that. So we're going to do it the way I do it. So what I'm going to do is take the tape off one top and one side. Okay? Actually, I'll just go all the way around. Just get it done. Okay. And I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. Alright, because if you see these corners here, they don't have tape on them. Alright, let me get this glue going. Sometimes this thing does get stuck, guys. Well, it would have helped if I had it in. Alright, if it gets a little bit clogged, just stick a little needle in it. Mine, I'll be honest, mine got clogged because I didn't have it in there right. Alright, so I'm just going to go through and put some glue on these corners. I want to make sure I have full contact. Okay, let me show you how I stick these corners in. Where did my glue press gun go? Guys, everybody's asking me about this glue press. I got mine at MaymayMadeIt.com. It will be linked, but I think she's sold out. And I know Catherine Puller sells them as well, so I will link these. I love this little thing. I love this little thing. Now, mine is... it's dirty, but I use it, and I'm okay with that. I love this thing. Okay, so what we're going to do, all right, first thing, we're going to pull this down and pull this up, and you're going to see that right there. So what I do is I take my bone folder and I work it in almost like a gift. So I'm going to work this in to the top there like that. Alright, we're going to fold that in and we're going to do this side. We're just going to fold this in and we're going to just do this really good. Right, so we got that in really good. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to take it, I'm just going to push it in. Just going to push it in. We're going to take this around and just push it in. Alright. This is where this cardstock is phenomenal, guys. It does not crack. It does not crack. This cardstock is so amazing. Alright, so we got these top and the side in, right? Do you see that? No cracking. Alright, come down here. We're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to come around and pushing it down. We're almost making it like a gift right there, right? And we're going to come up in the middle and I'm just going to press it down. And we're going to come over here and we're going to press it down. Burnish it like you mean it. You want to push this down in there like you want this to stick, right? Okay, so let's get a little bit more glue here. I'm going to do a little bit more glue. Now, we're going to do the same thing. Guys, it's so hard to explain this, but I literally push it in like a gift. All right. And then I'm going to come down here and do the same. Just going to push it in, push it in, push it in. Pretty happy with that. All right, now you've got your thing. You've got your cover, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to train the paper. All right, we're going to make this paper work for us. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to push this in the top here. I'm going to push that in at the bottom, in the creases, in your score, and very easily, not a lot of pressure, I'm going to pull that up. And I'm going to do the same over here. Just easy, not a lot of pressure, and pull that. Look at that. There is no cracking. There's absolutely no cracking. You want to take it, you just work in this paper. Work in this paper. I have found if you use cardstock, 60 to 80, nothing more. You don't want to get into, when you get into 110 pound cardstock to cover chipboard, you have to use your bookbinding tape or your tie back. If you don't use something like this, it's going to crack, okay? So if you don't have anything like this and you're like, wow, this is not working, it's cracking, this stuff will work. It will not crack. This one, I used the bookbinding tape. This has bookbinding tape, and look at that. There is no cracking. And this is Recollections cardstock. This is Michael's Recollection, and there's absolutely no cracking at all, okay? And in this one, and that one, I did use the bookbinding. All right, so now we got this done. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover this up, right? So the second measurement that you need, I think I give it to you already, is your front cover, right? And the front cover is, your inside mat is 8.5 by 8.75. So 8.5 by 8 3/4. All right. And I got a piece of paper from the pack. All right. And I just cut it. And what I'm using is this holly. Now, this is Cardabella. This is kind of thick. This is thick, but it's also textured. Now, I haven't used this yet. I have not used this in this book. I'm hoping it doesn't crack. We're going to see. We're going to see together. So something else that I want to do really quick, I want to do the edges. Okay, so I'm going to get, do I want over coffee or s'mores? I think I want macchiato. Hang on just a second. Yeah, I want macchiato. So I'm using macchiato from Catherine Poor to distress the edges. And this is something else. This really hides, just get a tool, your blending tool. This really hides any imperfections. I really like to do this. And since this is a vintage collection, this inked edges will look really good on this. All right. So I just went through here and just did that. You can also, since we've bent the paper, you can come down here and do the spine. Look at that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm going to come in here and just do this. I just think this adds so much. It just adds some interest. You don't need to go as heavy as I did. It's whatever you prefer. I like it. All right, so now we're going to do the edges of this. All right, so I'm just going to go through here. And this helps hide that white core, if it's white core cardstock, because this is definitely more of a cardstock type of paper. It's definitely not really thin at all. Now, okay, all right, now, this paper as well, guys, I want full contact. I want full contact on this paper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I am going to, instead of putting it on the paper, I'm going to put it on the spine because I want this spine to be really good, right? And I'm going to put it around the edge of this. And I'm going to put it on the edge of that. And then I'm going to come over here to the edge. And I'm going to come over here to the edge. Now I'm not going all the way to the edge because remember this is a mat. So, okay, so we got this down. And then I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on the rest of the paper. I really love Fabri-Tac. I love it. Huge fan of it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take this paper off, or the backing, to the off the score tape here. And see, if you burnish that tape down really good, you don't have any screw ups. Now let's see, this goes like that. So I'm going to get my Fabri-Tac out. Look at the back of that paper. I'll tell you, Cartabella is one of those, it's like Simple Stories, guys. It's only one sheet, double-sided, so you don't have any extra sheets. So that cut apart sheet, I'm telling you, there's times when you have to get extra sheets, and I wish they did it. I think that if it's the cut apart, should be just the cut aparts. I don't think the cut apart should have maybe a solid on the back, but it shouldn't have all this pretty paper on the back, so we have to choose. It drives me crazy. It's a pet peeve of mine. It really is. Okay. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to stand up, and we're going to get this lined up just as good as we can. Okay. And we're going to burnish this down really good, making sure we get the edges. And we're going to take it and we're going to bend it just a little bit, just to work that in. And then I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to start burnishing it. Not heavy enough to poke the paper, but look at that. Oh my gosh, it was like perfect. You want to do this right here. So we're going to go here, and we're just going to, look at that. Look at that. Absolutely no cracking. Guys, there's no cracking here. This, I love this technique. I love doing this. I love showing y'all how to do this. All right, guys, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to be back with the next video. It should be Saturday, and we're going to finish this album. We're going to build the waterfall. We're going to do the closure and the front covers, okay? All right, guys, I hope you like this video. Remember to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below and tell me if this helped you on the paper. I will make sure that I link all the items that I'm using. I will go through and find everything that I'm using and try to make, and provide you a link to that. All right, guys, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.